just grows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. When you're filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. 'Cause deep inside, there's a magical place with a whole lot of grace. Deep inside, there's a magical place with a whole lot of grace. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. Filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. When you're filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. When you're filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. When you're filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. When you're filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. When you're filled with forgiveness, your love just grows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. Deep inside, there's a magical place with a whole lot of grace. Deep inside, it's a magical place with a whole lot of grace. Healing is a feeling when your heart just knows. We're just dropping into that place. Big expansion, big beautiful heart, big beautiful peace. It's all within us to access. So we're just gonna drop in a little deep dive. I'm gonna talk today about electric pressure and charge. What is this negative charge that comes up and takes us over and makes us do crazy stuff? So we wanna get underneath this charge, underneath this electrical field of it translates into anger and frustration and moody babies dooming yams kind of thing. So we're just breathing through the nose, relaxing brain, relaxing eyeballs and jaw. Just allowing. We're just going nowhere. Doing nothing, being nobody is a good thing to do periodically. Just release all vestige of charge. With strange identities we take on sometimes. Just throw that old bat cape off. Just get down under the layers. Just noticing the light that's permeating, penetrating, moving running through the body. It's like a golden light. It's very subtle. We don't notice it until we go deeper. It's not that we're not experiencing the light all the time. It's just basically our software sucks. Our translation software isn't always going to grab it correctly. So we're just relaxing brain again. Eyeballs and jaw. Breathing through the nose, just dropping a little deeper. Getting into that default place that you can always go, that safe house. No matter what's going on the outside screen wants to make you scream. We just want to drop into this other dream team screen. It's so serene. Gives you this beautiful feeling of peace. Has nothing to do with the outside world. A little bit. But when you're absorbed in this, what is essentially is kind of a black hole, but of the good variety, right? This incredible absorption that takes you inside. And all the agitation that creates conflagration, sort of smoothing it out. Clear the fire principle. Charge and content can be connected, but it's best to separate them out, right? Because charge can come from anywhere at any time, and yet the content remains. So let's say first things first, just notice what's going on in your body today. It's like observation station meditation. Just observing, judgment-free, pure perceiving, noticing. If it's possible to objectify your subjective self, that's kind of what the beginning of meditation is. Before we drop into pure subjectivity, that then we find is connected to everything. And it just takes a little time for the brain to come down to that place. Downshifting in your Porsche. Right? Down that third, second gear. Each time you shift gears, you have to switch into neutral, right? Every sports car driver knows this, right? So shifting into neutral is the space in between everything, right? That needs to be linked. So if you can make a continuous connection to the neutral space, it's like the hub of the wheel. You won't get messed up in the spokes and all them other folks. You'll just be hugging the hub, right? Just drop into the hub. That beautiful club in the hub. Oxygenating. Exhaling. Let's do a few warm-up breaths through the nose, then exhaling through the mouth, just to get ready, and then take a few super breaths through the tube breath to bring the oxygen down into the diaphragm. And the more oxygen you can pull in and hold and release, that's going to open up a big bandwidth of peace. So let's do that through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. A couple more of those. Noticing your body, relaxing, flexible, stretching, holding, releasing, finding that beautiful posture. Head's like a bowling ball. We have to find the perfect balance, 20-pound thing. And when you find that station, right, that perfect station. It's the way a cat, if you watch a cat when it's sitting in that gravity position, it's just sort of riding the electromagnetics. So in a sense, the electromagnetics can lift you. The cartilage between your vertebrae is good, but the electromagnetic fields that sort of fluff them up are even better, right? So we get a little taller as we oxygenate and expand. Here we go, another breath through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Maybe do a couple of those on your own reconnaissance. Reconnaissance, interesting words like birthing yourself again, naissance, together with birth, right? Rebirthing yourself. Rebirthing is all done with breathing technologies. Another soft breath through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Okay, we're almost ready for the deep tube breath. Here we go. Much as you can take in and hold, and then release slowly. Another of those. And hold. And we release. Just find that beautiful waveform. This beautiful Alaria plant underwater, just moving through the undulations of the current. Beautiful flow of love and consciousness. Beautiful peace. Okay, so we're going to deep dive again, go underneath the waves, into the deeper spaces of the deeper depths, where there's no movement. Very subtle fish live there. Deep, deep, deep. Where there's tightness, just soften. Softening the shoulders, neck. The great alchemist Paracelsus says, man is ill because he's never still. So we want to grab that thought. Let the stillness clear any illness, any agitation, disturbances are resolved in the ocean of peace. It's like we drop past the thought of the divine, the thought of the light, which is limited to the experience of the light, unlimited. Just feeling it, not just thinking it. Normally we're relating to the body as a kind of frozen concept. But it's really this amazing verb of infinite transactions at the speed of light. We're only noticing the crust, right? The slower moving particles. The trapped light. noticing the vibrational field of your being is not a solid thing. So when you relate to it in that way, you become more fluid, oceanic, softer, more flexible. Let's just take that thought for a moment. Supreme flexibility. Where are you not flexible? What part of the body needs to be twisted a little bit, rolled, released? You want your body to kind of disappear. If it's too stuck, it's going to hurt, right? So it maintains this waveform. And then the mind goes deeper, and then the body begins to, it's there, but in a sense you're liberating from it. The mind is transcendental, right? It's transpersonal. It comes in to our TV set like a broadcast, and then we convert our version, reflecting it back. So let's stay clear mind, no mind, cosmic mind. I like this idea of the mind as a falcon on your wrist. It tucks its wings in and just meditates with you like a cat. And then the mind is parked. Mind is feeling good about itself. Then it can sort of disappear into the black hole of meditation, which, like I said, is a good place to be. In India, they say we have 4 bodies. We have the physical body, this kind of astral substance, this mind material, subtle energy body. And then there's this black hole that in India it's just known as the black body. But I think we need to make this connection that it is a black hole because you become absorbed in it at night, absorbed in it in meditation. And then that blue pearl, that infinite point of divine radiance is there at the core of that. Right? This wisdom seed, bodhicitta wisdom seed, mustard seed of the kingdom. Just drop into that point of light. Everything just sort of stops. You don't need much breath in this state. Again, being nobody, going nowhere, doing nothing. Such a delicious thing. It allows all of our goings and beings and doings this beautiful reference. Always trying to come back, circling back to the still point. Circling back, circling back. Softening the breath. Softening the thoughts. This links us into the regenerative power. Every cell in the body is regenerating. This is all happening because of light. It's biophotonic phenomena. Continuously regenerating in this moment. Noticing the breath, the hamsa breath. Hamsa. Hamsa. Hum means I. Sa means that. So it's an equation of identity. I am that. Hamsa also means swan. Paramahamsa, right? Yogananda. That's the supreme swan breather. Hum and sa. And that balances with prakasha and vimarsha, which is the light and the awareness of the light. So at the beginning of the meditation, we tune into the light. Noticing that you're the light. That's the awareness of the light. There are two different operations, and yet they're linked. Breathing, beautiful breath. So negative electric pressure, positive electric pressure. When these two are in balance, magic sevens, water, 7.0 pH. Not much can go wrong when that's the case. All right, so the body is working overtime to accomplish that. Because if you fall too far down in the pH, that's it. We die, right? A dead person is just a negatively charged lump at that point, right? So we keep the life force up in this water, perfect water pressure, alkalinizing. So inviting the alkalinization of their body. That's a space event in a sense. We're adding space. So we want to think alkaline is adding space. Meditation is adding space. Beautiful thoughts, more space. We're space beings. We're not rocks. So we're moving towards that hydrogen, moving towards that expansion. Like life, hydrogen has no opposite in the atomic table. Once you go below hydrogen, it starts to add electrons. It's kind of how it works, right? That's the atomic number. And pretty soon you get us. So we're hydrogen that's sort of gathered in a massive shell. Electron shells. So at our core, we're pure hydrogen. When we have pain in the body, there's a lack of hydrogen, right? You need water, you need oxygen, you need glucose. But mainly it's the hydrogen that is kind of the ocean we live in. And that is inevitably, inexorably pulling us towards this space, right? We just keep going up from the density that's down below. The lower chakras are anchored in the atomic table's heavier elements, right? Krypton, xenon, radon are the lower noble gases below the heart. Heart is ruled by argon, very noble gas. And as we move up, we're moving up the atomic table. Right, these elements that get lighter and lighter. Why does magnesium put you to sleep? It's a very light element, right? It's very close to light. So the more we arc into the light, the more we commune with the high elementals, then in a sense we are not densely stuck in our bodies, right? The body's station is there, but you're a liberated being. And so the meditation is the link, right? It's kind of your space shuttle to exiting density. And I like to meditate in little nips and grabs, right? Because it's not always time to meditate for that long. There's just so much going on in the world. So, but when we can grab a few moments here and there, establish a strong baseline, and then each time you grab a moment, in a sense you're reinventing that inner wheel, realigning with the deep principle, and you can do it at the speed of light so fast, and you get better and better. So we're just grabbing a little meditative moment here. It's like a little bite of yummy food, just sort of take it in. Because in that moment, you're not somewhere else, right? Your mind is present. In that regard, it's very light. The body doesn't weigh anything, really. It's just high-speed gas particles, mostly, with intention. And so the intention can be to be very light. So let's do that. Let's put it all together now. Oxygen. Yes, swan breath. Beautiful swan breath. And sa. With the pure I am observation deck happening. So you're watching yourself be yourself while we breathe. Watching ourselves identify with the lighter substances. Watching ourselves, noticing that we're noticing, that takes us deeper. This whole deal is to take us deeper into that place. Not so easy to get to. Partly because sleep has put a big cloak around it. Right? That big unconsciousness swirl, in a sense, is very much just under the surface. So meditation, in a sense, is like a rotor-rooting over time. We're getting to know these deeper wavelengths so that you're totally in them, right? Theta wave is your friend. Alpha wave is your friend. You're totally familiar with these states. You're not just daydreaming and spacing out, dropping into the theta depth. And then that links you right into the black hole delta wave. And then we have yoga nidra, right? It's not sleep. It's called yogic sleep, but it's tundra, right? It's it's a high state of absorption. So let's just breathe and we'll just drop into a little tundra, not tantra, tundra with the D. It's almost like aware sleep. Let's just do the next 2 minutes. We're just going to completely, like a little pearl in liquid pearl, just dropping to the bottom. Just elevators going down to hats and shoes. Here we go. Good feeling attracts the healing. Just notice the satisfaction department. We want this delicious satisfaction. When you're relaxed and in your heart, your body will follow and do its part. Body loves consciousness. It wants to be told what to do on some level. It's like a very good golden retriever. It's a pack animal. But it's like Cesar Millan when he comes over to your house to heal your dog. He heals you first. Because the dog is going to follow you. Right? So if the dog's chasing the horses out of control, it's probably because the owner has lost control, right? Of himself or herself. So the first step is to restore the power of the owner, the authority and the Shakti. So that could be applied to meditation, right? The mind is kind of like a dog that will just looking for a bone, just wants something good. So just want to give it something good, and then it's like, oh yes, the self. The mind wants to just gobble up the self, the supreme I am self, because it's the one thing that makes the mind, right? It's sort of like a demon, and he meets this beautiful woman, and it's the only creature in the world that can slay the demon is the beauty of the dancing Devi, right? There's a story in India about Mohini, who gets the demon to self-destruct himself, right? By having him dance with his fire radiating hand over his own head, and poof. So the bad guys take themselves out. That's what my Baba once said when they asked him. I said, Baba, what about all these nuclear bombs? What's the deal with that? And the way he put it was, the people who build the bombs will blow themselves up in some way, meaning they're not going to get you, right? They're going to cause themselves, they're going to dig themselves into a deeper hole. So from this point of view, we're protected by higher consciousness, whether it's Pleiadian ships, or your evolved meditative state, or the collective power of everyone in the world who's meditating, right? Anchoring the field. Let's just glide. I'm just going to play a little music, just feel the can make it not an om that's learned by doing it over and over where you almost don't even know you're doing it. But so it links into the sweetness of whatever you want to love in that moment. It's just like this is for anyone with issues in your lungs right now, anyone with COVID, anyone with grief, frustration. Just a beautiful zap from the mind to clear everyone's lungs, deleting the accumulations, strengthening the plurisacs, strengthening the empty spaces, nurturing the heart. Nice deep breath. The husband of the lungs, the large intestine, clearing out the past, this funky old stuff. Just letting it all go. Past goes poof. Oxygen comes in. The new wave is issued forth. Eternal now rolls forward. Eternally now, 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 now. Sherry had contacted me about sending help to her friend. I believe she's in Italy. She's 80 years old. Just going to send a beautiful love blast out to this being. Nothing seems to be working for her, so maybe this will help her. Beautiful inside-out blessing from our community here. So the best way, since we don't know her, we just feel the love and just sending it. Blessings. And then for anyone else in your life needs healing, send it. So we imagine them fine. You know, Malcolm Gladwell, I think he writes about this in his book called The Tipping Point, where he says if you want to do something really well, you need to do it for 10,000 hours. So there's probably some shortcuts for some stuff, but paying your dues, right, on whatever front you're leading the great fight or operating in the world. So let's pray. You can send energy and you wonder sometimes to some people like they didn't get it or the healing didn't work. Well, you might need to do it a lot so that your brain is sending these signals willy-nilly, meaning you've gotten so in the groove with it, you just hit send. Because until then, maybe your brain doesn't know what to do. It's not creating the software correctly. And I find it comes from just like anything, you just do it over and over and over, and it teaches you how to do it. Meditation teaches you meditation. Whatever you want to do is going to teach you by just doing it. So telepathic work, sending Shakti, sending healing energy, is definitely one of the more advanced art forms on the planet, in my opinion, because you're dealing with things you can't see, working with tools that seem invisible, people somewhere out there. It's so vague and so unknowing on some level that it's not what everyone's doing, right? It's really the way of the world yet. So we're assisting in this educational process, right? We're helping people understand our telepathic nature and the unbelievable ability we have to land a thought in a particular healing pond, kind of like a drone strike, right? That is a love blessing. And that's the power of the mind. And it's not that anyone can't do it, right? It's just like anything. It could take you 20 years to play guitar well, right? Or 20 years to do anything well, at least at a super high level. So we keep doing this, right? Keep refining the beam, right? It's kind of like a laser beam we send. Just eradicates charge, which was the subject of the talk, right? What is the deal with charge? Right? It accumulates, and then we have to delete it, right? Or what do? We vent it. We drop it into someone else's pond, and then they're mad at us, and then they throw the hot potato back. So it's a big hot potato. So this negatively charged potato, well, just don't send it back to anyone else. It's like catching the cactus. You throw someone a cactus, hope they don't catch it, right? Someone throws you a cactus, don't even try to catch the thing, right? It's like we're always running into this problem of reacting to people. I know I do all the time. And then I go, oh, what am I doing? Why am I reacting so much? I could just let it, if this other person wants to be so right, it's fine, right? Why do I have to resist, right? Everybody's doing this, right? We want to be right. So to allow everyone else to be right is difficult, but it's actually a good strategy from the point of view that they're right from their perspective. And if you honor that, they will resonate with you and allow your rightness to maybe correct their wrongness if that's the case, or add to their rightness. So we breathe. Yes, you can meditate all your life and still be caught up in angry things, right? Because I think it's because we're human, maybe? Something like that. And plus, well, it's hard to say this for absolute, whether this is, what the truth is exactly of this, but I would suggest that we're all experiencing that when we're trapped in a negative reactivity mode, other invisible entities feed on that in some way or another, right? There's like a feeding frenzy for the negative charge. And so that's why it can hijack us so easily. It seems to me that there's other beings involved, right? They sort of, just take a look at nature. If you leave a piece of food out, it's going to be eaten by something, right? It's going to come swooping in and just chomp, right? So this is sort of the nature of reality. These beings are going to come swooping in to grab the food. So what is this food we're giving them? It's negative charge, right? They feed on charge. Lots of people feed on charge. So the body even feeds on charge, right? We're feeding on disease to get healthy mysteriously. So I find that when I'm caught up in charge, there's this initial thing where nobody wins for a while, right? Everyone's just arguing. And then you start to surrender. You just kind of drop in. You start to just give it up, right? Other person may be still furious. They think they're right. You think you're right. But then just let it go, right? It's not worth it. The stress takes you down more than you're going to have an advantage from it. So it's a sabotage, self-sabotage. So ultimately, right, the meditation is the alt universe default setting for that, right? If you can get into that pond fast, away from the fire, right? That lake may be the only place to jump into. So we do well with the lake. Meditation is like a lake that comes and engulfs us. So let's do that. Let's do the Tambora Lake meditation moment. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nisprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Niralambaya Tejase Niralambaya Tejase. Oh. I find it very helpful to not do mantras and chants unconsciously. Meaning, you can be chanting or saying the mantras but you're somewhere else, or it's become so routinized that you become slightly zombified by it, perhaps. And it's helpful, right? You're just doing your 10,000 hours, but it's kind of like there's more sensitive moments available than when we're just doing it by rote. So we want to sensitize. Let's just do this in this moment. It's like combining tenderness with softness, with lightness, putting it all together, just so deliciously sensitive and profound. There's Sherry. We were sending to your friend earlier if you've just arrived. So maybe you could type something about, I believe she lives in Italy, so we can send some more to her. Illness and affliction is essentially when the negative charge has consumed us, right? It's gone up to the 51%, and now we're stuck in the victim mode, being devoured by the charge. Oh! We want to release the charge. I ran into a real estate agent yesterday in our quest for housing, and we were sitting there waiting for an inspection, and I was describing my healing work, and I said, do you have a pain in your body? I could sort of demonstrate how this can work. And she goes, oh yeah, my tennis elbow. So I was moving her elbow around. And I said, well, my experience is that when there's a negative charge in a certain part of the body, you can kind of look at what does that part of the body do? And then infer something. So aside from playing tennis, the elbow is often, right? The elbow is like, you're gonna force your way into something, right? Hurt someone with your negative charge in your elbow. And so I said to her, is there anyone that fits this description, right? Are you mad at someone? Is there, you want to yank somebody? And she's like, oh yeah. And I said, who's this? And she says, my tennis partner. It's like, perfect for tennis elbow. So that was interesting to her. And I just sort of dropped the complete healing in. She's like trying to find the pain, right? That's kind of what happens when you release the charge. They can't quite believe the charge is gone. And there it is, right? No pain, no charge, no pain, right? Then you can charge them. No, just kidding. So, it's a professional operation. So, charge deletion, name of the game. Yes, I'm available tomorrow, Paul. We're sending some more to our Italian friend, the 80-year-old lady. Let's just imagine her just kind of like rising up out of her affliction. Because if you can't imagine it, it's harder for it to happen, right? It's like harder for God to imagine, you could say. Or maybe the light can imagine it, but if you're not imagining it, the light's not getting much agency support. So, even though people say, oh, God does everything, and, what do we do, right? Well, I've said this before on this kind of broadcast. Do not underestimate your agency status. Meaning, if you don't do it, God can't do much. Meaning, needs the agent of you, right? To transmit the Shakti, to deliver the goods, to be the resonating system. So, Namaste Saul, welcome. So by being this resonating system, magic can occur, right? That God can't do without you. So the light is very powerful, but angels can't turn off faucets so easily, even though they're totally divine beings. It requires lunkhead us to catch the message and follow through, right? So we have to sort of listen to the words of these beings and maybe follow their suggestions. Yes, blessings is the most powerful action, right? What's more powerful than a blessing? Come on, right? What, a hate fest? What's that gonna do? We're kind of like a stairwell, meaning, you ever been in one of those stairwells where you just hit a certain note and all the pipes resonate, all the banisters are vibrating? It's like the perfect resonant frequency. So each person has their own resonant frequency in their being that makes you vibrate just right. So let's see if we can find it. I'm gonna tone the one that feels right for me, but that might not be the right note for you. So you can harmonize with that. So if I'm going, Om, you could be going, Om, 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 Om. Lots of different possibilities. I can. Welcome everyone. If I haven't welcomed you yet, we're almost out of time, but I'm welcoming you because you're welcome. I feel so welcomed by you, so thank you. Namaste, namaste. We're breathing. Yes, we can do combination healings and get many people on the line. It's all in the intention and the follow through. The delivery system is you. Right? Without you, what can God do? Right? So, pat yourself on the back. Celebrate yourself. Why not? Why not? You're awesome. Everyone's amazing. And we think we're just not. That's the problem, right? We think, oh, poor me, I'm just an idiot. You are as divine as they come. There is nobody more divine than you. Sending to Ellen. Hi, Gita. Breast cancer in Sedona. Okay, so, all right, let's jump on this. So, breast cancer, a nurturing issue, goes back in the lineage. So here's a little fun moment. We can practice your kinesiology we learned on Monday. And let's check in with this being in Sedona. So what do we ask for? Well, what I usually do is I just listen in and just see what's the universe want to tell me. It could be anything. Let's just do that first. Like, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? The word hopelessness comes up for me. That's often associated with cancer. There's this sort of giving up that people do. They could get into a funk and just kind of can't do this anymore. And then that goes on for a couple of years. It's like a divorce takes a couple of years, right? And the cancer can be incubating cancerous cells. let's say that there's probably everyone listening or everyone in the universe probably has a few cancerous cells of some sort, right? Funky cells, half-dead cells. And so this is for everyone. We're just going to delete them by using Siri technology, right? We just tell the supercomputer, delete. Completely delete. All cancerous cells. And anyone listening, any friends, just send this good, beautiful feeling to them. They're feeling hopeless, probably because they don't understand that they're the divine force. Simple as that, right? And even if they do, it's probably on some intellectual level that's not penetrated into their being. Because the light will override the dark when there's enough of it. Well, since we have such a good showing here, vibrating wonderfulness, let's just, everyone, we're gonna heal ourselves here. We'll just do a quick Sheng cycle. Kidneys, bladder, everyone. Beautiful water principle, cleansing itself, clearing itself, arising from the great invisible universe of ancestors. I saw a beautiful Facebook story picture earlier today of, I think it's someone who listens into this meditation, posted, say, feel the 3,000 ancestors going back into time that have preceded you. That is one powerful thought. I mean, that's grabbed me all day long, that one. So let's just apply that. Usually we heal back 4 or 5 generations because that's what's most relevant for immediate concerns. You can go back 6 to 10 for sort of larger generational landscaping. But then it's sort of like the Bible, right? The Old Testament, so-and-so begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so, and this just like, the list goes on and you can draw it out and, you know, you see like, there you are, and then, you know, hundreds and thousands of beings, and then there's David, or there's Moses, or there's somebody, right? Way, way, way back there. And every molecule in their body, if you have a direct link to them, it's probably been churned up in million sauces along the way, but there's an original core prototype, original mitochondrial DNA is going to get in there, right? You're connected to these beings. Let's just celebrate that. Imagine, like, who are these people? Like, are they Indian chiefs, right? Are they bootleggers? Are they, what do they do? How did this river flow through them that's now arrived at you? Just think of all the different imaginings and doings and art and work and thoughts and gone through these people, and now you're the most complex supercomputer in the galaxy. You have all the layers of these beings, all their experiences, everything they ever learned, you have now. Your body is a 3 million year old genius. I mean, I don't know, I could say this all day. It's true, right? You're just beyond the beyond. So, I'll take another minute, and maybe it's good for today. Nice deep breath. Maybe we'll sing a song. Beautiful breath. Sing along. How about something we've never done? A Beatles song. This particular Beatles song is called The Word. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard? The word is love. 'Cause it's so fine, it's sunshine. The word. Spread the word and you'll be free. Spread the word and be like me. Spread the word I'm thinking of. It's the word is love. 'Cause it's so fine, it's sunshine. It's the word, love. Everywhere I heard it said, in the good books, the bad books I've read. Everywhere I go, I hear it said, in the good and the bad books I've read. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Say the word is love. 'Cause it's so fine, it's sunshine. It's the word. In the beginning I misunderstood, but now I got it. The word is good. In the beginning I misunderstood, but now I got it. The word is good. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Say the word, yeah. The word is love. 'Cause it's so fine, sunshine. It's the word. Namaste, everyone. Namaste. See you on Monday. Beautiful weekend.